Hello, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Esports. It's me, your host, Jared. And first, just want to thank you all for joining us on week one of our new series called Last Week in Esports, where we're going to talk about all the big things that have happened last week. And we have a crazy lineup today. We have Rocket League finishing a big regional this weekend for North America. We've got League of Legends MSI wrapped up, where we saw China take home the trophy. And we have the final CSGO major. Big lineup this week. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This week, North American RLCS fired back on all the hype that EU had with an absolute shakeup of a regional. If I was to tell you that version 1 won it all, NRG's top 4, and then that FaZe, Complexity, Gen.G, G2 are all in lower brackets, you wouldn't believe it. But guess what? It's exactly what happened. Version 1 and Daniel specifically take home the regional. Daniel takes home his first regional win with a pretty clinical performance. They only dropped, I think, 3 games all weekend, which is unbelievably impressive, especially considering they made it to the finals, then against FaZe beat them 4-1. It's okay. Format retires. They pick up Daniel. They have a star-studded roster. Is this the team to look out for? I mean, probably. Daniel is one of the most perennial talents that Rocket League Esports has ever had. I mean, if Zen wasn't here, people would still be praising Daniel for being the young GOAT. So they played incredibly well. Version 1 really managed to exude confidence over all their opponents this weekend. I think Com dropped 70 points in a game and they won. Okay? They're doing what they need to do, and that's all that matters. Big other highlight, NRG are back, baby. Justin, Squishy, and Garrett G, Captain America, the man himself, done it. And by done it, they've instilled hope in all of North America. And by hope, I mean hopium and copium, because did it look convincing? Not really. Was it impressive? Of course. Was everyone happy? Happiest they've been in years. Except for maybe Dazarin, who has been getting cooked on Twitter for going to Gen.G after being with NRG for so long, but it's okay. But NRG managed to squeak out a top 4. Now their chances of making Worlds is the major is non-existent. It's like 3% maybe. Someone can check me on that. But I think this is something that the North American Rocket League scene has really needed. NRG has always been that talent. It's the people that, almost kind of was that team. They were kind of the Yankees, if we're being honest, of Rocket League. Everyone knew them. You got to respect them. Even if you don't like their game, you got to respect them. They are America's team. And they finally did it without making any roster moves. They showed up. They put the haters in their place and placed the top 4 this weekend, which is incredible. Props to them. Will we see it again? Actually, I hope so. I've never seen Twitch chat be so positive in my life than when they were watching NRG play well. Squishy looked human. I mean, he was showing emotion on camera. He was scoring. He was playing his role. Justin, when it cut to timeouts, the man was bopping back and forth, listening to music, just having a good time. And honestly, that's half the battle in Rocket League. So huge shout out. NRG, scraping it out. Here's how that whole regional shook up. And honestly, some of these teams are really poised. But also that middle of the pack, I mean, it's going to be some serious competition ensuring a major here. Also, I'm wearing it, and I got to talk about it. G2, not the best weekend from them. It's just not it. As much as I absolutely love and adore that G2 roster, this was not a performance that I think they can't even. This is not even a performance they can have an excuse for. It was not pretty. It was not good. They went into lower brackets super early, put themselves in a lot of trouble, and then immediately, go and face Dignitas, struggle in that series to go 3-2, and then they go play NRG and lose in the best of 5, and G2 should not be losing to NRG. Okay, NRG had a good weekend. That lower bracket, the entire weekend was insane. How are Gen.G, FaZe, Complexity, and G2 all in lower bracket round 2? That's almost unheard of. Someone can quote me on this and then prove me wrong. Pretty sure that is the top 4 teams from the last regional. Now that all top 4 of them were the lower bracket round 2. I'm sure G2 will figure it out, right? Coach Sathu, GOAT, sure he'll get them straight. And Atomic looked good, but they'll got to figure it out, make sure they get a good spot here for this major. On to League of Legends, let's go ahead and talk about the GOAT himself, Knight. Happy birthday to the man, the winner, and look at LPL absolutely dismantle the LCK and the other minor regions like North America and Europe. Gen.G put on perhaps one of the most clinical performances I think that has ever been seen in a finals at MSI. Sure, it was 3-1, but it was brutal. I mean, these games were almost, when they looked close, they still even weren't. A complete outclassing in almost every role. However, gotta highlight the boy Ben on Billy Gaming. He put in work. One of my favorite performances of all time, even though he did beat C9 and took out North America. But in reality, let's talk about that gap. Because North America and Europe did not stand a chance. I think they both took one game off the LPL or LCK team. That's an embarrassment. And I mean that in the most harsh way. They have got to do better. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's on the stage. But you've got to show up when you got to show up. And they just don't do it. But the LPL did, and they did it very convincingly. How Billy beat the LCK themselves 6-1, I think. Okay, the number 2 seed from LPL beat Gen.G and T1. Come on, that is absurd. This might be China's year. The LPL looks really, really good. And LCK looks good too. But what Gen.G and Billy just did is crazy. On to one of the biggest events that we've seen in recent history, in my opinion, because it was beautiful. A Blast premiere, the final Counter-Strike Global Offensive major. Well, before 2 comes out, obviously. We see Team Vitality take it home. And in a fantastic Sunday, great series, Vitality managed to take it home. Great job by them. Honestly, is that Zaya Wu is now I can't count how many times there were posters in the stands or people have tattoos on them. This man is the GOAT. Because the other GOAT, Simple, is not performing. When you look at the perennial and almost faces of esports, I have always said that Simple is up there. Faker, of course, is the face of esports. I think he's number 1, and it's no comparison. But number 2, I think Simple. And this was not it. Team Vitality managed to prove to everybody that they are the best team, convincingly, and took home the final trophy. And I don't know what anyone thought about that trophy. I thought it was nice. Twitch chat didn't seem to like it. Others didn't seem to like it. I thought it was cool. Especially the little backstory they showed on stream. But I digress. Another GOAT to talk about, though, Kenny S. Kenny S has officially retired from Counter-Strike. Now, I will admit, I'm not familiar with the Counter-Strike scene, and I'm getting there. That's a name even I recognize. Then you go look at his Wikipedia page, and all you see is a string of gold mines of all first places leading back to 2015. This man as a talent that I don't understand and I'm going to learn. But my goodness, what he's done for the scene and the reaction to people at his retirement, props to him. And I wish him the best in retirement. And now, my favorite part of this whole thing was the fake case opening that they did on stream. And now, why is it fake, you say? Well, because they didn't unbox a blue. They didn't unbox like some crappy little, USPS skin. No, they unboxed a knife. Of course. Anyone who knows anything knows it's scripted. It is. It's scripted because it's fake. It's fake. Thanks to the Reddit sleuths and Twitter sleuths out there. It's fake. So great job. Great job putting a fake case opening on stream. It's okay. Whatever. I just think it's completely laughable. Maybe they just wanted to imitate the magic that was that one guy opening like a dragon lore or whatever last year at a major in the stands on his laptop. Either way, a great event, truly a beautiful send-off to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And I think we really got to look forward to what's coming next. And now for a segment I like to call Let Him Cook, because I'm going to try. And what I want to talk about today is how does the West ever compete in League of Legends? And by West, I mean the major regions in the West of North America and Europe. Because in the past, there's been a gap. There's the East, and there's China and Korea. Sorry. And then there's the West. But it was always Europe, step ahead of North America, always getting the best of us on international stages. And that's not really the case anymore. Now it is the East in China and Korea, and then an entire galaxy, and then North America and Europe. There is no longer a division in the West. They are the same, and that West is getting stomped on internationally. And how do we compete? Well, if I could answer that, I'd be rich. But I can tell you the one thing that I think is causing that discrepancy, and that's esports culture. Listen, esports has a long way to go, right? Traditional sports took a long time to get to the organization that they are at now, and the standardization. And esports will get there, and it won't take as long, right? Because they've paved the road. Sports have paved the road for this. You see franchising in certain leagues. You see how that works out because they've done it in the past, and other sports have done it. And it's great that esports have something to model after. Okay, but there's a difference in esports culture between the East and the West. And I want to turn your attention to an article about Gen.G pays. And for those who don't know, Gen.G pays is the ADC for the bot lane, Gen.G, who is the #1 team in the LCK, which is the Korean league. And he is one of the best ADCs in the world right now. And I specifically want to concentrate on the fact that the story came out about him recently. And what it said was that he wanted to get better at League of Legends, possibly go pro, and he told his parents that. And his mom helped him find a tutor who was an ex-professional player. The tutor would come over a couple times a week and really help him and learn and give him some advice on, what you need to do to make it, right? Like, do they care about a high rank? Well, yeah, solo queue means something over there. But it's more than that. It's how do you become a good laner? How do you become good at the game? How do you grow? What do you focus on? And after a little bit of that, they said he had reached a plateau. Which first of all, have you ever heard of an esports tutor? Like, there's coaching, but if you told your parents you wanted to be a professional, your parents going to say, let's get him a tutor. Let's get him a coach. Let's get him a coach. We'll go on Medify. We'll go on whatever these coaching websites are, and we'll get him a coach. That's not going to happen. But it does in China, and it does in Korea. They have built an esports culture. They sell out arenas. Gets even crazier. He reached a plateau. So what's the logical next step? You find a new coach, you spend a little bit more time just trying to improve on your own, you try to break through that. No. The coach ended up living with them, a live-in coach, for a month. Excuse me? That sounds preposterous to you. Well, it is. It's crazy. Now, listen, I can't disrespect it. A grind, man. You give it to him. That's the grind. That's determination. And that he saw a future for himself and he helped shape it. Props to him. But how are North America and Europe ever going to compete with that? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I hope if you do, please let me know, because we'll work together. We'll solve it. We'll market that to the North American and European teams, and we'll be rich. Okay, so reach out to me. But reality, that's unbelievable. And props to Pace. He showed off this weekend, right? Gen.G did fantastic at MSI. They're obviously the #1 team in Korea right now. But esports culture is not here in the West. And it will be, hopefully, in the future. But for right now, we're just going to have to live with not making top fours. Because if we're not going to have that type of drive, how do we ever compete? And now for our top 5 plays of the week. Let's see if any of you gamers can hit.
Be a dead man, and it is! Zaru secures it. A triple kill out of Monsieur Elbow, and now we've never had a trumpet. Outstanding.
Winner's bite. There's the Tron. They want to go after Chovy. They force the ulti back out of the life, but BLG's health bars are looking bad. Guardian Angel's going to come out there from Shun, but Gen.G are camping the body. They take him down, and Chovy gets the credit. Paze flashes in. He wants the damage on On, but he can't quite find it. On likely to drop here next as Paze goes on a killing spree. Ben tries to fight back. Delight is down. They're going after Chovy again. Elf looks for the reset. He's trying to cut Paze. The rockets are ready to go. He's excited, and he just can't fight it. It's BLG.
Into this mid lane, and we should have known. We saw this. It's around the 25-minute mark. They beat Gen.G exactly the same way. Look for the first Nexus turret here as T1. They still have so much damage. Take a TP. Yeah, he can just come immediately towards this one, and I don't think there's going to be much of an option. JDG, 4 of them are up and available to make Death Rocket is going to be blocked. That's going to be usually trying to get those autos in. Can they keep it alive? Faker is going to turn up, and there it is. Game 2 goes to T1. What an ending out of nowhere.
They have not been able to set up too many strong offensive opportunities as FaZe Clan has controlled the possession for this game. First Killer looking to see if he can get 2. Wait, oh my God! First Killer, you're absolutely incredible!
Once, twice, 3 times. Oh!
He falls away, takes the spam, and he leans on who other than the legend of Lens? Who other than Lilu? But they turn back because they're so afraid, and then they walk into Apex, the only 2 Frenchmen to take it in a major on French soil. Isaac with everything on him. Vitality show. It's a full house from the French. No.
And that'll do it for our first ever inaugural episode of Last Week in Esports. Really want to thank everyone for joining us. If you have any feedback, anything I missed, drop it in the comments. Let me know. This is going to be a weekly series. It's a 1-person production, so working hard. But I appreciate all of you for being here, and see you next week.